Callaloo, ackee, sweet potato, yam, banana, and tomato, cabbage, spinach, avocado, chocho, butter, bean, and cocoa, courgette, millet, plantain, rice and peas and pumpkin, mango, dates and guava, chickpeas and cassava.
Speaking of delusional people, I'm talking about hunters. Hunters is a very interesting thing. I grew up in a hunter family and I've been told the same things again and again and again. But the most common argument is that no, we need to keep track of nature or to like monitor because we are the biggest predators here. Although if we have Yellowstone National Park...
Before the wolves turned up, they'd been absent for 70 years. That the numbers of deer, because there was nothing to hunt them, had built up and built up in the Yellowstone Park, and despite efforts by humans to control them, they'd managed to reduce much of the vegetation there to almost nothing. They'd just grazed it away. The valley sides quickly became forests of aspen and willow and cottonwood. And as soon as that happened, the birds started moving. The number of songbirds and migratory birds started to increase greatly. The number of beavers started to increase because beavers like to eat the trees. And beavers, like wolves, are ecosystem engineers. They create niches for other species. And the dams they built in the rivers provided habitats for otters and muskrats and ducks and fish and reptiles and amphibians. The wolves killed coyotes. And as a result of that, the number of rabbits and mice began to rise, which meant more hawks, more weasels, more foxes, more badgers. Ravens and bald eagles came down to feed on the carrion that the wolves had left. Bears fed on it too, and their population began to rise as well, partly also because there were more berries growing on the regenerating shrubs. And the bears reinforced the impact of the wolves by killing some of the calves of the deer.
And we have Chernobyl, which both have the best ecosystems on the planet.
The large reason why these animals seem to be persisting in high densities or a high abundance within the exclusion zone is because of the absence of humans.
If we talk about large mammals like carnivores and ungulates, it's really good habitat because it's a wild territory now, and especially this very wild spot along the border with Belarus, and also many different water sources like lakes and rivers and springs.
So the work that we've been involved with in the Chernobyl exclusion zone has been to look at the distribution and relative abundance of wildlife, particularly large mammals and especially carnivores. The species we most commonly documented were raccoon dogs, large numbers of photographs of gray wolves, red fox, Eurasian boar, Eurasian badger. When we have human-dominated landscapes, we have lower densities of animals.
Costa Rica has one of the best environments too, except for the poachers that are along the coast. They have banned hunting. This is actually working, and why people don't recognize this, I have no idea. They just don't see it, and why is this? Well, because of media cover-up, I'm sure. All the arguments that I hear is that we hunt for food and that's how we will survive. Generally, the amount of species that are wild are very few. You will be lucky if you will have yet other animals in the forest after 4 months, because there's generally not enough wildlife around. Honestly, to the entire industry, this has nothing to do with food. It has nothing about upholding the nature. Let me show you one thing. The sufficient way to cut wood would be to, I take that tree, that tree, that tree, that tree, and that tree, and I let the rest of them stay there. So this is the most efficient way to do it, but there's a different way they do it, and that has to do with hunting to do. I'm now here in a very clear-cutted place. It's time ago since this was clear-cut. There's another place farther up there that is like new. And just to give you a better visual representation for this is what's normal within this industry. Because when you cut down clear-cut forest like this, then you will have an increase in deer and moose. And this is a very small island, but I know there are deers around here. And when you increase the population, then you will have more hunting licenses sold. And when more hunting licenses sells, then you kind of understand that this is just an industry. It has nothing to do with regulation. So in other words, you know, deer reproduce in the amount of food that is available. So when they cut down forests like this, they know that the amount of deer will increase. And when the deer population increase, then there will be more hunting. Every single bloody time, it's about money. Well, I recently put out one post on Facebook with like a lot of response and also a lot of shares. I'll translate some of the messages that was in there, and I'll take some of those who are like the best arguments from these troll hunters. Where do you get your food from? The store? They don't really realize that I'm vegan, do they? But a wolf is less humane. So what? Are you sick in your head or something? Yes! Quick research shows that you have clear sign of being an extremist. You don't happen to be vegetarian too. What do you call me, a hypocrite? Yet another blooming fanatic that has not yet grown up. Rainbow hair and intelligence as few. Oh yeah. Have you ever been to a slaughterhouse? No comment. Even the carrots scream when you pick it up from the soil. Richard! Can you come over here 1 second?
What's the difference between a blade of grass and a human? In this never-ending cosmos where all is equally insignificant. Every time I mow my lawn, I'm committing a holocaust. Each blade of grass that gets cut by my lawnmower is no different than the children that get cut by my axe.
Hair dye is also hurting the environment. Yeah. Vegan with no parabens or anything. Yeah, so damaging for the environment. Are you on drugs, you weakling? Well, basically I take iron supplement because I have a absorption issue, but besides that, a lot. What are people supposed to eat? Yeah, because it looks like I'm dying, does it? I bet he eats grass. Yes, she should have got spanked. Am I hot or not? Oh, have you damaged your brain? This one? Looks whole to me. Here's a girl that shares your opinion. Yeah, it's actually sent that to someone else, and yeah, it's quite interesting when people really get so unsure about their own sexuality. To summarize the claim, well, if you don't kill them, they will overpopulate, and there will be diseases, and all of a sudden there will be so many, so they take us over, and if we don't do this, then there will be too many, and we also need to keep a control over the wolf population, because or else there will be too many of them. And this goes like back and forth, and when people start to suggest that, oh, but wolves kill them too, it's like, do you think they will kill any less if we kill them? And there's a big difference there. The wolves doesn't have a choice. We have a choice. And we have no vital role in the entire ecosystem at all.